Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today we are going to talk to Susan, who by using the QT wave device, she sleeps better, she is much calmer, the arthritis in her fingers is gone, her hair has grown faster, her chronic nose infection is gone, her back pain is gone, and she can even see better. Can you believe it? Just by carrying a QT wave device. So let's go and say hi to Susan. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhige, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Hey Susie, thanks so much for coming to spend time with me today.
Hi, Tracy. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's so good to see you. And I look forward to hearing your story. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about how you were feeling prior to QHS?
Well, I can kind of back up, starting earlier on in my life, I was very healthy, no, health issues growing up. The only issue I had, and I wouldn't call it an illness, it's more like, in a handicap. I was born completely deaf in my right ear. And I did not know, or family didn't even find out about it till I was like 11 years old. So I went a whole 11 years without even being diagnosed with, any hearing problems. A teacher had sent a note home and they had me tested and I was 100% deaf in my left ear. But of course, that really didn't, hold me back or anything like that. I just, went through life with no big issues really, other than having my tonsils taken out twice. They
What?
took, they took it out once. I was like 8 years old and I was in Seoul, Korea. My father was based in the military in Seoul, and the military the military, doctors had taken out one of the tonsils and left the other one in me. And
That
just so
that
like,
makes no sense.
I know. So 2 years later, I was having all of these health issues again, with sore throat, and went back to the doctor, and there was only one tonsil in there. And they could not believe that they had only taken one out and the other one was just left in there. So I went through it for the second time, because I don't know if you've ever had your tonsils taken out.
Yeah.
It's very painful. So I had to go through that again when I was like 11 years old. So two
That's
times.
crazy. That tells you like government cheapness, right? Like
They just-
let's not do both, that just doesn't make sense.
I think they just forgot. I think they just cut it out and just forgot about the other one. I don't know. I really don't know. Even the doctors in the United States couldn't believe it. They had never seen that. So, yeah.
I don't know how you forget about that. That's kind of
Mhm.
crazy, but
Yeah.
anyway, and I got a funny story, not a funny, but an interesting story for you. So one of my really good friends, her
Mhm.
daughter was born deaf
Completely,
and completely,
completely deaf.
and she happened to know sign language because she was a resources teacher.
Oh, wow.
And she could tell that the baby was deaf, and everybody thought she was crazy. And she's like, oh no, I can tell. And sure enough, but she already had the resources to know how to
Yeah,
sign to her
That's
daughter.
that's great. Yeah, that's
Isn't that
wonderful.
something?
Hmm. So basically, I stayed healthy most of my life. And then when I was in my early 20s, I wanted to fly. And I knew I would never be able to be a flight attendant. But a friend of mine told me about it, and I cheated on my hearing test. And of course, the airline is no longer in business, so I can say
Oh.
Eastern. So I actually got hired through Eastern Airlines, and I flew for almost 4 years before we went on strike. And then the company Eastern completely went out of business back in the late 80s.
Oh,
I got to
wow.
do that. That was like my dream, and I got to fulfill that, even though,
Cool.
completely deaf. And I would say about that point in my life, I probably had about 85% hearing on my left. And basically the main thing that I went through over the years was multiple traumas in my life and a lot of abuse. And so I just, I didn't let that stop me from just doing what I wanted to do in life, and just succeeded in my life, just, with family and jobs, and did very, very well until I got about 47 or 48 years old. I got very, very sick. And it first started out with like vertigo, major, major vertigo. Everything started spinning. That was like the first, sign of something was happening to my body. I had a lot of inflammation in my body. I was swelling. And I actually have a list of some of the things that, so I didn't forget on the issues, like a lot of the issues. So I was working, and I was about 47 years old, and I lost complete hearing, like 100%.
Because of the vertigo?
Well, I didn't know what it was. It
Ah,
just, I was in the middle of, working, and I lost complete hearing. I was at work. And thankfully, I called a client of mine who had bought a home from me, and he was a doctor, and he knew an ear doctor. So he called him, and he said, "Get her in here immediately." So I went into the hospital, and he said, "If we don't start you on prednisone right now, within 48 hours, you may never get your hearing back."
wow.
So I was terrified, thinking, "Oh my God, please, please," and he couldn't guarantee that I was even going to get my hearing back. This is the only, solution that I can tell you right now that we can try. So I started massive doses of prednisone. And so it was within about, I would say about a day, I was getting my hearing back, and I was so thankful. So, it seemed like I was okay. And then I was swelling, of course, because the prednisone is steroids, and I had to be on diuretics because I was swelling, and I was gaining weight, and it was
Mm.
horrible. But I had to now, down the dosage of the prednisone till I was, stopped taking it. And it probably took about, I don't know, about 10 days or 12 days or whatever, how long it was, to take that. Then I thought it was fine. I was just really grateful I got my hearing back. And then, like, within another month, month and a half, I lost it again. And they had to go through that whole, procedure again. And they just couldn't tell me, what, they could do, anything more than that. And just hoped and pray that we can just, continue doing that. And I'm thinking, God, I hope I don't have to do this for my life, taking this medication every time I lose my hearing. So it happened to me like 4 times,
Wow.
back to back to back. So for about a period of like 8 or 9 months, I was losing complete hearing over and over and over. And out of desperation, I opened up my Yellow Pages, And I was just praying, just asking God to help me find the perfect doctor for me, So I was thumbing through it and I stopped at this page and I saw Chinese acupuncturist, and it just, rang a bell. So I called her and she took me in and she started doing all these needle, acupunctures on my head, my ear, and all over my body. And then gave me, or she actually mixed up some Chinese herbal medicine. And I don't know what it was she gave me, but she gave me this nasty stuff that I had to take. I was healed. I never had another episode again.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So all that prednisone and diuretics that I took all that time did nothing for me, but just made my, condition worse, because now I'm going to have, severe other, things going on with my body.
Like
But
side effects?
because now that my hearing is okay, and I'm just really hoping that that will never happen to me again. And then that has never happened. And this was like I said, I was like 48 years old. So, and I'm going to be 62 next month. So that was a while back. And
Wow, you look great. You don't look 62 at all.
well, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
So then I have, like I said, the inflammations were really bad, and I have a list, so I apologize for looking off the screen. Digestive issues, heartburns, my neck was always like stiff and headaches, and my joints were painful in my hands, my knuckles, and my hips, and I felt it had to have been arthritis, because I would wake up, Tracy, and my fingers would be stuck like this, and I would have to pry it open, and it would be so painful.
Oh my goodness.
Just so much of that kind of stuff going on. And then I had this major nose infection. I have no idea what was going on, but my body was, you got to remember, I've had a very healthy life. I was very active all my life. I, in school, I was in sports. I was a cheerleader. I got my black belt when I was 35 years old. I was a kickboxing instructor. I mean, you name it. I was always working out, and I was in great shape all my life. And then all of a sudden, here I am at 47, 48. I was falling apart just all of a sudden. So that's the only thing I can think of that just kind of, made me feel worse than I had ever been, was all that medication. It was just massive dose of medication, just over and over and over, until, I got the right kind of help from the acupuncturist. Thank God for, the herbalist, the natural healing, because that's the route I went to, and that, took care of that.
Did she help with, did you go back after she fixed your hearing to fix the other symptoms?
I never had to. Oh,
Well, what about all the other stuff?
No, I got so busy with life. I just took on all of it. Just was gradual. I was just getting worse and worse and worse over the years. And I was taken by an ambulance because I had such a severe vertigo episode in the middle of this major project review with all of the presidents of the company. And I'm the sales manager, and I'm in the middle of that. And I had to excuse myself and barely made it to the bathroom. And I was on the floor throwing up, and I thought I was dying. So I crawled into the secretary's office and I said, oh my God, I think I'm dying. You're going to have to call the ambulance. And all these guys are out there waiting on me.
Oh,
And even
no.
know. So that was like, the biggest issue at that point was that. And then there was really nothing that they could do. They just X'd it off as bad, case of vertigo, and then sent me home. And then I had several other vertigo episodes after that. So it seemed like at that point, the stressful my job got, the worse it got. I just was getting worse and worse with the stressful, in the work. So I retired when I was like 54 years old, very early. I couldn't really work too much more because I was too sick to
Oh.
basically, work anymore. And anyway, that's what I've been dealing with. And I have probably right now, the most major things that I'm dealing with currently is my tailbone. I have real excruciating pain in my tailbone when I sit down. And of course, the ringing in my ear and the hearing, the loss of hearing. And it gets worse and worse because I really feel that I probably have about 45, if I'm lucky, 50% on my left. So when I'm in a room, like I was just traveling, like I told you, with my little dog to Palm Springs, just going through the airport and listening to all of the announcements, it's muffling, and the noise with so much conversation, it just really gets me anxious just from all that sound. Never really, realized it before, but as my hearing is getting worse, it's, affecting me more and more. So waiting to be seated, they're calling the group, how they call the groups, group 1, group 2. I was missing my group because I couldn't hear. I had to get up closer so I could see the board, and then I was still missing it. So even if I was a group 2 or 3, I wasn't paying, I wasn't getting it until like group 7. And so it was that kind of stuff. It's little, it's not a big deal, but I'm just saying that those are the things that I'm having to, deal with on a regular basis. But the good news, Tracy, is all those issues, like I have no more arthritis in my fingers.
So let's go back for a second.
Yeah.
When did you get your device?
Okay. So I got it April the 28th. So it's been 3 months.
Okay.
So
And
that's
what
how
did
long.
you notice first?
What I noticed first was sleeping better. I was much more calmer. And I noticed that when stressful things happen, I can deal with it a lot better. I'm not all upset and hysterical, because something's happening. I'm just so much more calmer. It just makes it, so good, so good.
Oh,
It helps
good.
a lot.
So it sounds like you went from a sympathetic nervous system down to a parasympathetic, where you're able to just live in that peace energy more.
Yes.
And it makes sense with all that trauma that you were going through with that pain and
Yeah.
all of that, that you would be in the sympathetic nervous system. It's a
Right.
lot to deal
Oh,
with.
it is. It is. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize when you look back, you don't even realize that when you got so upset about something, you don't even realize why. It was just all of that going on, in your body.
Yeah. Yeah. Your adrenals take over and
Mhm.
wow. And what else? You were talking about your hands.
Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, my knuckles are no longer, there's no more pain. The arthritis in my fingers are gone. Like
Wow.
I have no problems with the pain. There is, because I used to like, you couldn't even like touch my knuckles without it just being inflamed and so painful. You could feel the pain just touching my knuckles.
Wow. And it's gone.
I have nothing. It's
How
gone.
long did that take, Susie?
It took about a month and a half, to notice that. My hair has like, I promise it's probably at least 2 to 3 inches longer. My hair,
It's growing fast.
that's one of the things. My hair is growing like crazy, but I need a haircut.
No, I love your hair. Are you kidding? I just had to cut off a bunch of mine.
Yeah, I need the same. It really needs to go to a healthier length at this time.
No, it looks
So
beautiful.
the nose infection is gone.
And how long did that take you?
My gosh, I had that nose infection for at least 6 years. And it was very painful because I would have to take like a swab and take hydrogen peroxide and go up in there to clean it constantly because it would always be infected. And then it would clear it out for a few days. And then that infection would come back. No idea
Wow.
what that was all about. I have no more infection in my nose. That is like, oh, that makes me so happy because I don't have any pain in my nose.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
And how long did it take for the device to help you heal with that?
That was probably about 6 weeks, when I noticed it.
So cool.
Yeah, it is amazing. Just totally amazing. The back pains, I have no more back pains other than like, I still ride bikes and I just did my record 38 miles about 2 months ago. And I was so scared when I got off the bike that I was going to be like, my tailbone was going to kill me. Because when I'm riding, I don't feel it. It's always when I get off my bike, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. Well, no more. I can ride my bike and get off, and I am not in pain. Now, I still have the tailbone issues from time to time. And it really depends. Like if I have a glass of wine or if I have something that I shouldn't be eating, like cheese or, chips or something like that, I can tell that's what makes that just flame up. It's almost like the inflammation.
Uh-huh. Have you tried putting your device by your tailbone?
I have, but not enough. I've been concentrating on so many other things because so many other things have been like working. And if I have a headache or something like that, I'll put it on my head, or I've even tried it on my ear, but I know that's going to have to take the QR to really handle that because it's a, big deal. So I'm
Maybe
really,
not. Maybe
well,
not. I would put it by your ear. I've had other people
really,
say,
okay,
mhm.
I'll just keep doing it. I'll just keep doing it. Oh, glasses. Okay. So I got brand new glasses last year, and I go every year to get new glasses. And all of a sudden, about 5 weeks ago, my glasses wasn't like, what is wrong? My glasses wasn't working right. And it was getting blurry, and they were brand new glasses. So I'm wondering what is going on. So, and I've got all these glasses from the last 6 years that I've saved because I have gotten progressively worse over the years. And I tried on my older glasses. Oh my gosh, I can see better. These glasses are from like 4 years ago.
Whoa, that's cool.
I can see better with these than the glasses that I got last year. So that's another amazing result is, my glasses, my eyesight.
Wow, that's really fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool.
So let me think what else. Of course, the inflammation. Oh, wow. That was huge. And I think that really helped with the stiffness in my neck and the headaches, because when you're inflamed, there's something going on with your body. And, I didn't eat like always the healthiest food all my life. I could pretty much eat whatever I wanted to all my life, never really gained much weight till I got in my late 40s or something like that. And of course, now, especially after I got really sick and I had to stop work, I started juicing celeries, and that was major for me. I followed Anthony Williams, medical medium, and I followed a lot of his juicing for the celery and a lot of vegetables. He just got me in a real good habit of starting to eat healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Started eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, and I don't eat as much meat anymore. So I have changed the last year in better eating. So it makes a big difference.
Oh, that's good. I tried the celery juice and I didn't notice any difference after about a month. So I just stopped because I'd rather eat my vegetables than juice
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
you know? So, but I mean, maybe I just didn't need it, maybe I just wasn't
Exactly.
inflamed. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Mine was
So,
mainly because of inflammation. And that's what
yeah.
he said. He had spoken about inflammation and it would help. With that, and it did for me. So I just continued juicing for about 2.5, 3 years. And now I'm just when I'm really, feel like I need it, I start doing a little more juicing on the celery. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I bought some because I thought maybe I should try it again. I just haven't
Gotta
whipped
be
out the
pure,
juicer.
though. It's got to be pure celery. You don't mix it with lemon. I've heard
Right.
people put all this other stuff in it. It's got to be pure. And if
Hmm.
you juice about 18, 24 ounces and just drink it like 30 minutes before you eat, it really helped me. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I would buy like a whole bunch of organic celery at the same time and then juice it. And, but I did buy some recently. I thought maybe I should just try it again because I love to mix things up all the
Mhm. Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea. So now we get to ask about the exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all exciting, don't get me wrong, but it very soon we're all going to be able to go into the Q arc. And so you're going to have a healthy 30-year-old body that's going to hear perfectly, see perfectly, feel amazing. Yet
Mhm.
you're going to have all this wisdom and experience for these decades. What what is exciting about that? How's it going to change your life?
Oh my gosh, Tracy, I think so much. I feel like I missed out on hearing so much. I really do. I love music, but I couldn't listen to loud music. Not that it's good to listen to loud music, but I wanted to be around music. I wanted to play instruments and I couldn't because of my hearing. You really have to have, to really perfect it and do a good job at playing a specific instrument. Like I did try playing the saxophone and I did okay, but it's just always something missing. I just never could like 100% engage in my instrument playing. So I would love to learn to play the drums. I
My
want
husband's a
to
drummer.
huh? Who is?
My husband,
Oh,
so I
is
it's
he?
so loud.
And of course, with the hearing, that's probably the worst thing to do, but I've always wanted to play the drums.
You go for it.
Yes, I want to do that. I want to learn to play the piano and guitar. And I definitely want to go back to playing the saxophone again. I love dancing. So I want to take like professional dancing lessons and just really get into it because I love music. Music is just everything to me.
Oh,
So, and maybe if I, meet the right partner one day, have more kids. I've got 3 beautiful children, and I wouldn't be opposed to that if that ever, you know, came to fruition with the right partner one day, maybe think about that. So that's not something that I've closed the door on, like a lot of women have said, no way, but I would totally entertain that.
did you hear the Q&A call Friday?
Yes.
Did you hear what John said at the very end?
I'm trying to remember. What did he
about women having babies second time around after the Q arc, and about the star seeds and all
Yes,
that?
yes. That's pretty cool. That was pretty an amazing, thought on that. I like that thought.
I know. I was like, no more kids, no more animals. I just want to travel and,
Yeah,
open QHS centers all over the place. But after he said that, I thought, well, that
that's
would be a
pretty
really fun
amazing.
experience.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
So cool beans.
And of course, with LWS, I am dedicating to open up CACs and quantum healing centers and like a resort type of a setup. So I just want to travel and just, because I worked so hard in raising children all my life, I was just so focused on, getting to that next level and just working and working and working. I didn't really spend the time loving. And that's what I want to spend time doing.
Well, we're going to have plenty of time for that, my darling.
No.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that because that was just a perfect closing.
Thank you.
I just want to spend more time loving. Do you see that? Just love.
Yep.
And that's what we're called to, right?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Well, I just want to thank you, Susie, because your story is beautiful and your healing remarkable. So this will inspire so many people. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And will you come back for part 2? Post
Absolutely.
Q arc?
I'm so excited. You bet.
I look forward to it very much.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, okay?
All right.
Have a beautiful day, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye for now.
Well, wasn't that awesome? This woman's life has completely changed, and you can see what she has done by visiting quantumhealingsystems.org. When membership opens, you can join, and as a gift of membership, you too will receive a QT Wave device. So thank you so much for listening, and please make it a beautiful day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.